In a previous video, I gave you an outline of all of the various options inside your interface. And I explained to you that there were certain options that would only be visible after we have set up an account for you. So what I'm going to show you now is a campaign that's currently live and one that's been completed throughout the first phase of what we call our precision profiling system. And I'm going to use this campaign to show you the information that we'll require, and we're going to need your help on this so that we can design the most effective campaign for you. After a campaign is set up, a JavaScript code is automatically generated, and we'll embed that code on one or more of your landing pages, your thank you pages, or any other pages that you want to be able to track and retarget your visitors with. So I'll be explaining that just a little later, but I want to go through this campaign first to show you what all of these options mean. Under General Settings, you have the Disable and the Enable button. You want to let it stay right here, because if you press the Disable and then press your Save Changes, it completely erases this campaign out of view. So you want to make sure that it stays right there. Now, to suspend the campaign, to pause one and to reactivate the campaign, if it's over here, the campaign is paused. Right here, the campaign is active. When we set up accounts for you, we'll normally let this stay right here so that you can look over the settings, ask us any questions that you might have, and after you are satisfied with the campaign and what we've done, we or you will set it back to active, and you'll press Save Changes, and you should be just about good to go. So let's take a look at the start date and the end date. And these dates are basically self-explanatory with one exception. It takes about 8 hours and sometimes as much as 48 hours, depending upon the campaign, for that campaign to be approved. All campaigns go through the real-time bidding compliance staff, and they take a look at it to make sure there's nothing objectionable and that everything looks the way that they want the campaign to be set up. And we'll talk about those guidelines later. So we normally give ourselves a day or two in advance, so that if you have a campaign that you want to start on a Wednesday, we want to have that campaign set up and submitted on a Monday or Tuesday to make sure that it goes through the approval process. And the end date is similar whenever you want the campaign to stop. So we'll set all of these things up for you, but I just wanted to let you know that it does take a little while for a campaign to be approved, and so we want to get the campaign set up in advance. Now, under conversion details, when you are retargeting a visitor, you must create an audience pixel, and that's what this is up here. And we'll create one or more audience pixels for you, and we'll put them on your landing pages, your thank you pages, or whatever else that you want to tag, and however you want your visitors to be retargeted. So we'll set up the campaigns for you, and we'll put them in your landing pages. If you don't want to do it yourself, we'll handle that for you. Now, the campaign goal type is cost per click, cost per thousand, and cost per action. We normally set everything at CPM initially, and right under here you'll see a campaign goal value. Now let me explain this entry under campaign goal value and this entry under maximum bid price. Ideally, you would like to pay a certain price for your traffic, and that ideal price would go into the campaign goal value. But you'll also have to understand that you're going to be bidding against other people, so you want to have a maximum bid. I'll bid this much but no more, and that's the place right here. So we'll be asking you questions about the minimums or maximum bids, and if you don't have any suggestions or ideas about it, we'll set up the minimums and the maximum campaigns for you based on internal research or what we feel that would be an acceptable price under the campaign that you have set up. Now, the next field is the budgeting field, and it tells us how much money you want to allocate to this particular campaign, and whether you want that money to be spread out evenly or whether you want it to go as fast as possible. So this tells us how you want to allocate your budget. And again, remember, This is your maximum bid price. You're saying that I will spend this amount of money, and in this case it's 50 cents per thousand. You're saying you'll spend that amount of money and no more, but you would like to get it down to about 30 cents per thousand. So that's what these two entries are all about. And this only tells the system that you want to take that budget and you want it spent as soon as possible, or you want to spread it out over the course of a 24-hour day if you have set the campaign to run on a 24-hour daily basis. Now, let's go down to frequency. Frequency tells us how many times you want to display your offer, or how many times you want to retarget someone who has shown interest in your offer. And in this particular campaign, we set the frequency cap at 5 times per day. Now let me make this plain. Just because we have a frequency of 5 times per day, you might think, well, that's just really too much. But you want to keep in mind that we're not going to win a bid every time. So we'll use that number to give us all of the opportunity, or to give us as many opportunities as possible to retarget someone that has shown an interest in your product, your service, or the announcement that you want to make. And of course, the frequency cap interval tells us that we want to attempt 5 times per hour, 5 times per day, per week, or per month. And that's what the frequency cap is all about. And you have the option even, ASAP, and none. We normally stay around even to ASAP, never select none. And at the bottom, this is fold position. You're telling the system that you want your banners to be placed up top without a person having to scroll at all. And that would be the case of run above the fold. Run below the fold means that once someone scrolls down, that you have no objection to your banner being displayed in the second half of a browser window. And run uncategorized means it really does not matter. You're interested in winning the bid. You have enough banners to place it anywhere that a bid is won, and we'll use run uncategorized in a case like that. So these are the details that we'll have to set up your campaign. And there's 3 parts to setting up a successful campaign. We must have the campaign details to identify the campaign and to set the parameters, how long that campaign should run, the amount of budget that you want to allocate for the campaign, how often you want someone to be targeted or retargeted, and things like that are included in the campaign option. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about how we will go about using the targeting options, but I hope this is clear. And if you have additional questions, feel free to let us know and we'll explain it a little further. But this is just a primer to let you know what we'll be doing, and once you see those figures in your interface, you'll be able to look at them, and if you want something changed, or if you have a question about a certain setting, then you can refer to this and ask us, and we'll be more than happy to help you. I hope this explains a little bit of the campaign details, and I'll talk with you on the next video, and we'll go into the targeting options. Thanks.